Okay, folks, good morning. We're trying to put together some of these things. Last night we worked on assembling some of these Panzer 38s, Panzer 38Ts, and these KFZ 13s, little armored cars. And we've got this whole stack of German half-tracks that we're going to try to make heads or tails out of. And what I really wanted to get is I wanted to find where the files of these particular vehicles were, because they are 3D printed. I didn't 3D print them, but they were 3D printed by somebody who they led me to believe that they're available free on the internet. So I want to make sure that we have all the things that go with them on each one. So I'm just going to do a 3D printed STKFZ 251 free. And let's see if we've got anything to recognize it. The giveaway is the ambulance. The ambulance is definitely the giveaway because that's kind of an unusual print, this sort of thing. James Oliver, welcome. Nope, we're not eating cockroaches. Go to a different channel. We're not even going to pet them. They won't even be shown on my channel. Madagascar cockroaches belong in Madagascar. Let the lemurs eat them. And if not, then I'm going to, let's see, let's go, let's do that. 3D printed STKFZ 251 ambulance. That's probably, there can't be that many prints of that. My Mini Factory. .3D cuts. Let's go to My Mini Factory. You okay, but your friends don't want me to come over to their houses anymore because of my inappropriate behavior. Get new friends. Well, it's not the right version. Okay. I'll take a look at this later at some other point. All right, so we've got these Czech 38s that 3 of the turrets were broken, and a lot of them were open. And I don't want that many tanks with them open, so I had these extra ones that I put together last night from Plastic Soldier Company. Yes, that's the name of the company, interestingly enough. And I replaced the turrets on those, and they're about the same size. They're not off too much. It doesn't bother me. Looks like I'm going to war. Yes, play war. That's what everybody should be doing. They should just do play war, not for real life. So these are all 1/72 scale. And a couple of these These are some prints that my friend gave me when I met up with him in Spain. And these are German half-tracks. They're all late war. They're the latest model, and you can tell that because of the back of them is at an angle. And one of these is the mortar carrier. It's got a mortar in the back there. And 3 of them are just standard half-tracks, which I have a few more to do. So let's clean this stuff up, and if I'm going to prime stuff, I'm going to prime a whole bunch of stuff. So obviously we're not going to do that right now, but we can do it this evening when I get back. So we're going to take the one with the howitzer. It's got a 75 millimeter gun in it. It's a short 75, but it's the same 75 millimeter gun that was in the Panzer IVs at the first part of the war. 75 millimeter L24, which fired high explosive. It did have a few rounds of armor piercing. I don't know if this one would have had it, because like these are literally just to support the Panzer Grenadiers. But maybe late in the war they did. There is some detail inside there. I was right. I was in Balkan War. Not fun. Yep. I'm glad you made it out, man. Yeah, I like playing war all the time, but it's like the same thing. Oh, man. I'm surprised nobody's asked me this. I said, well, why are you always playing war? I said, because it's the same people that are fascinated with like horror movies. Do people that watch horror movies want to see pretty girls massacred and mutilated? Well, I'm sure there's some, unfortunately, but generally, no. I'd say horror movies are worse than war, actually. Now that I think about it, because there's some really bad stuff that goes in some of those. I don't watch them, so. I'm gonna support this. Clean a little bit of flash. It's on here. These are going to paint up really, really nice. This is the one that I finished yesterday. It's one of these same prints, so it came in the same color. The lighting here is terrible. Well, it's not terrible. It's terrible for you guys. It's great for me. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, we finished this one up last night. It's the same vehicle. And this is basically what they're going to look like. They're going to be that dark yellow, which is called Dunkelgelb. And put a little fake license plate on it and everything, so. Good morning, Marcus. I don't know what's in the message held for review. Sorry, I'm busy. Well, Marcus, we got the half-track done last night. These Czech 38s. There were 6 of them. 3 of them had good turrets. The other 3, so I replaced them with Plastic Soldier Company turrets. I don't know whether they're going. I might go to France with them. I don't know, because these guys can't go to Russia. These guys got to go to France. So, and I've got the Aquit Daring book from France, from whatever the hell this manufacturer is that my rules are, whatever they're called, Face of Battle. And I was looking at the Panzertruppen book, and there's actually a lot of details about combat in France in it. Go to France. Great French tank camouflage. There is great French camouflage to do. I can paint these for Barbarossa in France, and it doesn't really make any difference. So, I just have 3 open top with commanders. I could just put the commanders not with those floppy baker hats. Does your wife wear one of those floppy baker hats when she works in the bakery? Probably not. I hope not for her sake. And the bump cap. Well, it's a beret hidden in the bump cap. Well, the beret is like really big, like like an evil baker. And I don't have any of those figures, and nor do I want any. They look ridiculous. But there's a lot of. I was just flipping through the Panzer book, and there's a lot of combat action stuff in there, like combat under 100 meters and stuff like that. Like the Germans would walk in, and the French tanks had really bad visibility, and let them get to like 100 to 120 meters before they opened fire on them, and just then the French tanks couldn't rotate their turret. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. But I have no French tanks. I have no French infantry. Of course, I'm just doing stuff to do stuff. So, you know, we're not going to be painting any. We're not going to go and order some French infantry for Simon's soldiers yet, although he makes a full line of it. No, they wear bandanas. Bandanas, not do-rags. Okay, so this guy's by himself. This one has a larger hole here in the pintle. So that matches with a larger hole on the 28 millimeter. So those two go together. I need to take all these. There's stuff inside here that we need to take out. This one doesn't really have anything, and there is I'm not going to remove that yet, but we may have to remove that MG because it looks like it broke. This is how I got them, man. They actually didn't get damaged in transport. There were things that they probably didn't print too well or something. Doesn't matter. We'll fix these guys up. Okay, that's the 251. We have a MG42 and a pintle mount here in the front and nothing else in it. So this is going to go something like, and it's lost its peg, so it'll go something like this in the front. So this is a standard one. There's, I don't know what the hell this stuff is. Well, here's another one down here. Stovepipe. It's not a Panzerfaust. It's not a rifle. We'll put all the MGs out of there. Okay, that's a standard half track, which I have 3 more of them to do. I haven't finished any of them, but I haven't finished any of the Altaia ones that I have. Let's see what we got here. There's some great plastic French infantry sets. My favorite are Pegasus and Caesar. Good morning. Played a few games of Memoir 44 at the club on Tuesday. Like to do Winter Eastern Front in the near future. Yeah, well, we got to wait for if whatchamacallit's going to come out with some Panzer IVs. Yeah, now what is this? This is a piece in here. Out, damn piece. Yeah, I'm kind of putzing around. I do want to do some of these in between my Africa thing. Just because, he was nice enough to give me this stuff, and I figured, he'll probably get a thrill out of seeing me finish some of this stuff. And I don't mind, And I don't mind. This is a radio half track, and it's got a piece here that's wedged in here. Memoir 44, huh? I've played it. It's like Axis and Allies. It's a fine game, but does it make me want to read World War II stuff? No. You know, I know the guy that designed all those games. He's a nice guy, Richard Board. He's at all our shows. He's the one I was selling a bunch of stuff. All those 1/87th scale T-35s I got from him for $1 a piece. So he's an older gentleman and has a ton of stuff that he's collected throughout the years. Okay, here is a MG42 on the pintle mount here in the back, and a mortar, which luckily is not broken. Maybe I'll get home from work early enough I can take some pictures of the North Africa stuff. I've been kind of bummed out that I haven't been able to do that. This lack of daylight. I haven't even been getting home that late. It's just this lack of daylight sucks for taking pictures after work. All right, so here we go. Oh, one more. Must be talking to somebody else. I don't know anybody who likes. I think I like ketchup more than roaches, and that's saying a lot. Now, this compound that he used to print these is pretty soft. It's very different than Chad's. It's funny, everything is plastic model kits are different than plastic soldier company stuff, which is different than Armor Fast, which is different than Chad stuff, which is, you know, everything is just a slight little bit different. All right, so this was the engineering one because it's got the peg for the 28. Let's put the 28 on there right now. We know that goes with that one. There are extra wheels, front wheels. We don't need those. There's some extra Panzer 1 turrets. I don't know what they would go with. There's some extra track here for the sides. Don't know what they would go with. Trying to eliminate some of these choices here. Okay, the bridge, the mini bridge. One of the scenarios I have in the skirmish campaigns has one of these half tracks. Of course, it's either a B or a C with the bridge. And I've been wanting to do that scenario, but I have no bridge thing for it. I would have to paint a mess of Soviet infantry. So that goes something like that. Gets glued on the side. So those pieces go along with it. How many pintle mount machine guns do we have? For the front, we have one. Oh, here's even one that has a MG34, not a 42. Okay, well, we're going to put 42s on all these because these are late war. So one's going to go in there. Another one's going to go in there. These are two standard half tracks, which I like. I personally like the earlier war half tracks more. However, these were a lot more common than the earlier ones. The earlier ones were a pretty unique thing. Okay. The mortar only has a MG in the back because you got the mortar up front. It'd be in the way. So can we... bend that back a little bit, and we'll put this one that goes in the back in there. Okay. We have, what else do we have? What else do we have? What else do we have? MG wise. We need another one for the back here. A couple more. Here's another one. This one goes like so. That's the radio one. And one of these in the front. That's a 34. That's good to have 34s because I got earlier half tracks that I bet are missing some. Here's another 42 in the front. And then this new one needs in the rear. Looks like it broke off at some point. And it's a 34, okay? We can super glue that on there or epoxy that on there, and then that one will be good to go. Okay, we got a spare 42 and a pintle mount. Now, I don't know what the hell these things are supposed to be. They almost look like Panzerfaust that have been fired. They don't have the warhead on the front. What's going on? What's going on here? You need a badge to talk like that. Hey, what's going on here? You need a sidekick that comes with you and says, what's the meaning of this? That way you guys can be a team. Okay, it looks like there's another mount here in the back for an MG. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that some of these might have actually had a little gun shield in the back. But I don't know yet. Okay, these guys are sitting down. This guy's sitting down. This guy's, what do we got here? We got a couple guys that are standing up. This guy's holding an MG34, like he's firing it from the pintle back in the back. So these guys won't work with this because that's the wrong machine gun. We got some spare tires here with spare wheels. We can attach some of those to the side. Yeah, this little thing. It's like a Panzerfaust. That's been eliminated. Now, this apparently is a stretcher carrier of some sort. But I don't see where this goes on anything. He definitely gave me extra stuff that he just kind of had laying around. There's some jerry cans here. So I think what we're going to do is let's move the gun crew, guys. The guys are in the crew. Let's move them off to the side so we can get to some of these details. Why do I build so many of them? Why do people watch so much television? That's going to be my answer, my TV answer. Well, these were given to me. I think we can safely probably glue these things on and not have an issue. Yeah, these are 3D printed. These I went to Spain recently, and a friend of mine met me there and gave me a bunch of stuff that he figured I could use, and we're using it. The machine guns on the back I'm probably not going to glue on before I paint them, but these I definitely will. And we're going to use the good super glue. The one that dries quicker super glue, the standard one. Okay. Move that guy off to the side. This is another standard 251. And when you build so many, you don't have to decide, all right, well, I'm going to build one of these. What camouflage of the 5,000 different ones that I like am I going to take? Just freaking do it. Heck, we may even do some of these for winter. What are you saying? I don't know. Even though this is not the winter I had in mind. I had the 1942 winter in mind. I don't know if this super glue is going to be worth a damn. I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of epoxy. Okay, this one we're not going to put that little machine gun in there because it's just going to restrict our ability to get everywhere. I'm going to be able to get there, but I'm going to put pressure on trying to get it, and I might break a piece off. So I don't know that we want to do that. And this is the Stummel. That's what I was thinking. That was the word I was thinking about, the Stummel. Yeah, the 75 millimeter Stummel. And then this is the radio version. I'm sure if it's got a couple of antennas or something like that that we need to put on there. That's the 3, I'm pretty sure. SDKFZ 251 3 Alst D. /3. I don't recognize any of these. I don't recognize any of these prints. So let's Let's go to Battlefield 3D. I don't think they're from here. I don't think they're from here, but oh, that's not going to work. Okay, that was an eBay link. It looks like the right vehicle. That looks like the right vehicle. So let's go to Battlefield 3D. Man, I can't see the keyboard. Battlefield 3D. Okay. Search for product. Let's see if I can do this. SDKFZ251. All products, Germany. Oh, there's only 484 products. CFAX. World War II Germany, 481 products. All right, all the half tracks are probably together. Oh my gosh, only showed me like 10 things on a page, and there's like 24 freaking pages. Man, these people make a lot of Fords, man. Marcus, Battlefield 3D make a lot of Ford trucks, like, in German use. A lot. I like that Horch 108 body. The square one. Let's keep going. If I come across the Czech 38, I want to take a look at that anyways. Need some trucks. Yeah, I think what's his name has access to all this stuff. I like the Krupp Protz trucks. Protza. Krupp Protza. I don't know. I'll say it the best I can until somebody comes and corrects me. Well, we're on page 9 of 24. Are they amphibious? No. No, not at all. I don't think I actually have any amphibious vehicles. The problem with an amphibious vehicle is, here's the Panzer 38. Let's see if this is the model that he printed. I think it is. I think it's this one. Let's see. There's a little box there. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing on the other side. There's stuff missing, so I may have to add something because it just looks empty. But this is the Battlefield 3D print of it. Because it looks exactly like that. Okay, so we're in the right place. I suspect that he probably got the half tracks in the same place, if I had to guess. I saw a version of this Stummel, a model, painted with just yellow with just green, almost like a spider web camo on it. That's probably when I'm going to do that one. Come on. Panzer IVs. Do I do any kit bashing? I do. Not a terrible amount. Mainly because I don't have to. But yeah, I just did some kit bashing last night. The turrets that came on here were missing some barrels, and I had these Plastic Soldier Company barrels, turrets that were unused because I built them as martyrs. Plastic Soldier Company gives you so much extra stuff that I just feel terrible. Like I can't throw that stuff away, and I'm glad I didn't because, well, there you go. Here's the D. Okay. As the front and the back pencil mount. All right, what else do we have here? Do you want to see? I got a ton of Pack 36s too. I could put a Pack 36, but I don't think in 1944 they were using that anymore. I'll probably convert one of my earlier half tracks to have one of them. Okay. Here's the mortar carrier, but that's the C. Here's the D mortar carrier. Okay, let's click on that one. Okay, it shows a hole for the pintle mount in the back, but not one installed. I'll put it there just in case. Okay, let's look if there's anything else that goes with that one. Okay, what comes with the Stummel? Here's a Pioneer wagon, but no picture. Oh yeah, there is. There's the picture. Okay, it has these things. I keep wanting to call it the Pupchen, but it's not. It doesn't have a machine gun in the back. I mean, it's got a hole for it, but it doesn't have one. Okay. So that one's complete. Still need the radio one. Oh, is this it? Doesn't even have a machine gun at the front. Got a hole for it. Okay. Well, I'm not going to glue it on there because it's not a given that that's on there. Now, how did this super glue work? Okay, it worked all right. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue the this stuff on here. I may glue the 28 millimeter on afterwards. These are the same either way. Now, this many half tracks, this smells like Panzer layer or 12th SS or something like that. But I don't want to make vehicles that are specifically for a certain unit. All right, the front of that little section, the front of that little section goes even with what? is just a little bit back from that split. So it's like so. So I need to put it like maybe even with the front of this. All right, we'll try using super glue. If that doesn't work, oh, hold on. Are they unidirectional? They are. Okay, good. My voice sounds badass. Okay. If you say so. As long as I don't sound like some people that have a YouTube channel that I thought it was a robotic voice. I don't know if the guy specifically made his voice sound like that, but it just seems unnatural. I'm not going to mention any names, but man, I thought the guy was a robot. AI took over this guy. I don't want to sound like a badass. I just want to have a deep enough voice that if somebody tries to rape me, I'm at least put up a fight. Instead of like a little to the left. That's not it. I'm not going to glue this thing in just yet because it's going to make my life a lot easier not having to fool with it. Not that I can't get in there, but it's just going to be a lot quicker. And we're going to drop that guy in here. So these guys, I think, are ready to be. I'm going to do some research today and see if the 230, the radio half tracks had a pencil mount in them permanently. But these guys are ready to be sprayed-ish. Sprayed-ish. Now, what else do we have left here? And I did find my German crosses. They were somewhere they weren't supposed to be, which would explain why I couldn't find them. Okay, this is more Panzer Gray stuff. These aren't Panzer Gray. These will end up being dark yellow. But these these little motorcycles, cute little boogers. Those are Panzer gray. This guy's an officer with goggles. What's up, Justin? Good morning. Welcome back. This guy goes over the Panzer Gray land. This guy's firing an MG-34. There's other people that use motorcycles and motorcycles in sidecar, but it's pretty much a Wehrmacht thing. That's what I think of them anyways. Oh, okay, the 3D print didn't come out great on here. Oh, it kind of melted a little bit. Okay. And it looks like he put this piece on there to hold it together. But it's much, much larger. This guy's looking over like he's sniffing the guy's arm. Like, look at this. Guy's like sniffing his arm. Like, tell me, Hans, did it look like I put on deodorant this morning? Oh, you silly kraut. You're German. We don't wear deodorant. No? Nothing? I better be careful with this because I got to grab this in a place that... It's a shame I can't use that... It's a shame I can't use the weld cement with this. Well, that broke off. This might be a job for epoxy. Let's set that off to the side. Okay. I just don't like to mix it up if I got a lot of different things to do. And then the rest of this, let's be proactive. Let's get rid of that little dot of super glue. This is all gun crews for all the door knockers. Why you got so many gun crews? Got like 12 door knockers. I don't know who the hell makes this, but some of these figures are pretty freaking awesome. They almost are really done in the style of like the Tamiya figures. So maybe I will use these for France, or some of them. But there's a lot of first-hand accounts in that Panzer Trooping book on encounters with French tanks and stuff like that. Only thing I'm missing for the desert is I'm missing Pack 38s. I've got one that was an old, I want to say it was an old FAA model. And I think that's what it was. And it ended up, I ended up losing one of the tails or misplacing it somewhere. And I haven't been able to find it. Maybe that peg is just too big on that one. That one's cracked. Not that it can't be replaced, but it's enlarged. It's just a wee tad. Yeah, so this evening we'll spray all these guys black. I think that's what I'll do. After I take pictures. Man, they even have the end of the barrel drilled out. Definitely a more brittle compound than Chad's prints. Do I collect guns and knives? I'm not interested in knives at all. I have a badass voice, but I'm not a badass. I don't collect knives. I've never had a pocket knife. You know, I don't carry around a pocket knife. I'll even carry something around, be a machete, but I don't live in a place where banana trees are out to get me. Guns are too expensive. Guns are too expensive for me to collect them. I don't have as many as I'd like, and I'm okay with that. I don't have very many at all, actually. I didn't get into them until late. I didn't get into them until that guy in Colorado started, you know, putting people in a movie theater. I didn't have any at all until that happened. I'm like, no. Nope. I'm not scared to run away, but man, if you're trapped, you need to go down fighting, you know what I'm saying? But I don't have any rifles, for instance, and I would like to, but they're just too expensive. You know, I can't really justify spending. You know, I don't want to just buy anything. There's stuff that I like, and I can't justify buying $2,000 for a rifle. You know, well, it costs $2,000. Well, I'd love to have an FAL. If you're gonna have a rifle, have a rifle. No, hunting guns don't excite me at all. I'm not interested in going hunting. Just I want to kill cardboard. That's it. But I can't justify that. There's just some things you just have to look at them like, you know, that's not a good value. Like I told Marcus before, you've been poor before or had no money. Like, it's hard to get that out of your soul. You're like, that's just not, I'm going to feel like I made a bad choice. But knives have never interested me. I don't, I don't know why. I think knives are more dangerous than guns. Well, what do you mean by that? I said, somebody's handed me a pocket knife before, and I've been like, okay, how do you get this thing open? I'm just been like, man, I hope I don't cut myself. You know, I can pick up a gun and I'm not worried about hurting myself or somebody else. But a knife, I'm not so sure. But I've never been into knives. I've never been into knives. All right, so we need to do, I'm going to write myself some notes. Because if I don't do this, I'm going to forget and be in the same exact boat that I was before. I wish I could collect guns, but they're expensive, man. I mean, Now I've got a pencil here somewhere. Snapdragon. This is the one that has, here we go. That's one you have to sharpen. This one you don't have to sharpen. I don't live alone, which doesn't necessarily mean that I can't buy whatever I want, but when you live with other people, there's other things you have to consider. That's like, all right, I'm going to buy this thing that I think that I want. Am I going to feel like after I got it that it was a good move? Probably not. I don't even have somebody, I just don't want to feel bad about it, So, collect both for a while. Well, you're single. I want to, my car is ready to change tires. It's got, I think, 30,000 mile tires, and I've got 45,000 miles on them already. And I'm holding out. I'm holding out as long as I can because I have a decision to make. Because I'd like to change the wheels on it. It came with 17-inch wheels. It's the only car I've ever bought. I was leasing it, and then ended up buying it because they aren't available. Cars aren't available anymore without all the safety shit that they put on them. And that's strange. Is that accurate? Yeah, it is. Okay. So I decided to buy this car. It's the only car I've ever bought that's the lowest model of the vehicle, the most basic one. So it was missing a lot of things that I would have liked for it to have, like fog lights, larger wheels. It came with 17-inch wheels. I'd like to have 18s or 19s. So I'm like, all right, there's no point, and people do this stuff all of the time, and I don't know how they live with themselves, but they'll go and they'll buy a brand new car and just say, okay, well, I don't want these wheels. I'm going to put other wheels on it with new tires. I'm like, you didn't even drive it. So I'm doing it more intelligently. I'm going to wait. If I'm going to go up in wheel tire size, I'm going to wait until I need new tires. So that's where I'm at right now. But I have to decide, do I want to spend $2,000 on new wheels? I mean, the tires alone are going to be $1,000 for 4 of them. So I'm thinking, I'm probably not going to do it just because it's not the smart move to make, And then what if you get it and you pick everything on, you put it on the car, and you're like, it doesn't look that much better. I shouldn't have spent the extra $2,000 on it. And that's the kind of situation that I'm in about, large purchases like that. It's not like I skimp on any maintenance. Now, I still have tread wear. If I didn't have any tread wear, I'd be buying tires, but I still have tread wear. But that's how I look at everything. You know, it's time to do an oil change on your car, you freaking do it, right? But stuff that's like, nah, do I really need this? I don't know. You know, windshield wipers. I had to replace windshield wipers for the first time in many, 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 many years because you don't have to on a lease, right? They don't wear out in enough time. So, but on this one, I had to replace them, and the two windshield wipers were almost $100, and that's with me replacing them. You know, but I got to weigh all that stuff, and I do that in everything. I mean, $2,000 is it's not gonna make or break me, but it will from the standpoint of I'm gonna feel like shit if I made the wrong decision. You know, so um, it's that whole analysis paralysis thing. You know, I think I'd feel better not getting the wheels and getting that rifle instead, but I'll probably end up getting neither of the two. Just knowing me. So you gotta be frugal where you can be frugal because there's some things you have to spend the money on. You know, you have to spend the money. There's just some things you're gonna have to spend money on. So you can't have that attitude about everything or you won't have any money. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it probably makes sense to Marcus. You know, if this computer died, right, it's like it doesn't work anymore. I'll turn on buy another computer. Well, that's what I could use the $2,000 for. You know, so um, I'm pretty good on self control, and I overthink things, so that I talk myself out of it. All right, so what do we need to do today? Today, do we need to do if we need to do SDKFZ 251 slash 3 MG locations. Okay, SDKFZ 251 9 rear MG and SDKFZ 251 slash 7. That's the engineering rear MG question mark. So normally the way it happens is if you have a standard 251 half track, at least in the way it works is you've got a machine gun here and you got a machine gun there. Panzer Grenadiers riding here, 10 guys, okay, plus there's a driver and there's a machine gunner. This is if everybody's at full strength. When these guys unload, the pintle mount machine gun gets taken, and that's a squad MG. So if you pull this one out too, then you have two squad MGs, but then you don't have any MGs on the half track. That's on paper how it should work. So a 12-man Panzer Grenadier squad really should have 12 men. You got 10 guys in here that are the regular squad, plus two extra guys, and two MGs. So that's how it's supposed. That's the textbook definition of how it should work. Yep, it's the way I live. No, no, it does. I've been become a penny pincher last 12 years. Yeah, it's not about being penny pincher. I mean, you know, it's like I said, you try to be frugal where you could be frugal, right? Like, let's not be wasteful and be stupid about things, right? Because it's not like, first of all, let's say you're made of money, which none of us are. Tony's business advice. No, I'm just saying, you know, that's buying more stuff doesn't make you happy. Not having anything doesn't make you happy either, but buying more shit doesn't make you happy. But you got to get your body gets used to stuff. You know, you have a TV that's just a regular TV that's not a 4K. You're fine with it until you get a 4K, and then you're fucked. Like, oh man, my good TV doesn't work. I don't want to watch on a shitty one. Your body just accommodates to things, and if you get used to it and then it gets taken away from you, it's like you're getting screwed. You know, and I don't want to have that feeling. It's the same reason why we never played DBA with house rules. Like, oh yeah, it would have been a better game. Then you go and play in a tournament and you feel like you're getting screwed because you're playing a shittier way. You know, so yeah, I need a soda. I'll be right back.
I had the most basic model car. It's the only car I haven't had that didn't have fog lights. And they're expensive. When I went to get it, I was leasing it. I didn't want to lease the next model that had fog lights because it was like an extra $3,000. So I'm like, well, I'm probably going to be done with a lease. Well, turn out I ended up buying it. Well, I'm like, well, I'm going to change the fog lights out then. And it still cost like $500 to do it myself. I mean, assuming the labor was free, but I didn't mind doing it. But again, I could have switched it out, and then I wanted to get these fog lights that have a really high lumens. I think they're made by Morimoto or something like that. Well, the lamp itself, you have to buy the fog lamp kit, which is like about $350. Unless you want to buy a cheap knockoff, which I didn't want to. I want the original parts that are in there. I just have a model that didn't have the fog lights in it. So you have to buy the fog light kit, install those, and after that's installed, then switch out the lamps that are in there for the other lamps. Well, the other lamps are like cost as much as the fog light kit. I'm like, I can't do that right now. I can't mentally do that right now and feel good about it. Then maybe later on next year, maybe like, all right, I'll go ahead and put the fog lamps. So I'm like, all right, I could buy the regular ones. I'll buy the which aren't LED. And I'll buy the yellow tinting thing. Did all that, turned out great. Switched out the horn too, because the horn that came in it was fucking lame. Switched out the horn. Oh, the horn comes in red. Fuck. Well, all right, well, take the horn apart, spray paint it silver. Spray paint. Painting shit. I can handle painting shit all day long. Like. So all that turned out really well. And maybe next year I'll do something different, but I got to weigh that stuff. So I don't want to spend a lot of money and be like, this didn't make me happy. Why did I even bother doing it? So you got to keep yourself on a short leash. If you don't have fog lights in Michigan, you're screwed. I don't buy things I don't need. Yeah, I try not to. And it's just a good habit. It's just a good habit to get in. I don't order food I don't eat. That's like a crime. I was raised that was a crime, that, you don't leave food on your plate. You don't throw food away. Obviously, as long as the food is okay, like there's something wrong with it. Well, I'm going to eat it anyways. I mean, I'm just saying, it's just a good habit. You got to keep yourself on a short leash because your body just gets really comfortable to do things that are, the path of least resistance. So I have this much stuff because somebody gave it to me. So the least thing I could do is build it. So we got this stuff to spray. Let's see if we can put these guys in a little box. And not in this little box. I'm going to take these guys outside. I got to take pictures of these because I can show you this all day long and it just doesn't do them justice. Well, it does. They look even better in person. I'm like floored. I'm like, I need to keep, especially these boxes. I start doing stuff and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm like, I need to just shut the fuck up, Tony. Just keep painting because these boxes turned out freaking great. So the predicament I'm in is the Brits, and I love the Brits I have to do, don't have any of this extra stuff. They don't have extra sandbags or nothing. So I've looked online and yeah, A13, A13, A13. Oh, look, here's another MG42. Perfect. One of these didn't have one. A13, and I got the fourth one somewhere. I think it might be primed. Here's one of the honeys. I got to look at photographic evidence. I'm probably can make some of the stuff out of green stuff, not sandbags and stuff, but just like tarps. And tarps would be enough. You don't have to have sandbags. Sandbags just sounds like they're like veteran units and they've been sitting around for a while and taking some flack. Not really flack, but post them. I do. So the fog lights for me is just for looks. It's just completely for looks. I don't think they make any difference at all. But other than that, the car looks a shitload better. So. My car actually do okay in Michigan, as long as the snow drifts aren't too deep, because it is all-wheel drive. And man, that's another thing. I don't want to go back to a non-all-wheel drive car. All-wheel drive is freaking amazing. And I don't really have any road conditions that I need it for. It's just nice to be able to take a 90-degree turn at 40 miles an hour and hold the road. Never know when you're going to need that. Okay, so these are Jose's things here. I'm going to look more into France because I don't like German vehicles that don't have the turret overhang. Czech 38s aren't a problem. They always look good. Yeah, you don't need all-wheel drive in Florida, but it's nice to have. And I tore apart my airbrush the other day, and I had gunk in places I didn't know I had the gunk. Because remember, I learned how to airbrush with that airbrush. So I made mistakes a year and a half ago that I don't make now. But with hand sanitizer, man, everything comes apart real easy. I think that's everything that we had. We do have some extra parts here from the Czech 38s that I have to decide whether or not we're going to use them. I got extra pieces of track. Well, I got lots of jerry cans. I got to look at some photo evidence. I was looking at some footage of Czech 38s, and one thing I can't figure out is what's the difference between the models, between the A's, the C's, and the EFs. And I don't have a squadron signal book on them. But all the footage I saw, it did not show the extra track on the front of the hull at the bottom, like extra reinforcement. It's just like, hey, this is what we got. Just run with it, Well, let's go ahead and remove this extra sprue that's holding nothing. And I like leaving them on the sprue because it was a lot easier to find this stuff yesterday when I was looking for those spare parts, because all the stuff for these tanks were together. And same thing here. Does Michigan have that stupid, you have to get your car inspected by the state government, and yet people still drive around with clunkers? I hate shit like that. That's like, oh, we're going to make a better place. That sounds like a good idea. And then all the people that need to have that done don't do it anyways. So it's just basically an infraction and inconvenience for everybody else that would normally keep their vehicles in working order anyways. Like, thanks. I don't know that I'll need this, but we'll leave it attached to the sprue. And you have this stupid sticker on your freaking window that's distracting. Check out Greece with your British. I don't want to do Greece. I don't want to do Greece. Not at all. I'm going to be investing in a metal roof in Michigan. They work great with the snow. I don't want to do Greece. It's really too short of a period. It's really too short of a period. And I'm pretty sure the Czech 38s didn't go there. I'm just guessing. I don't think so. And I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay my 813s for that. No, no. Now, you know who I have had sitting in the wings here for a long time? This little guy. And I want to say this is a Fujimi Kubelwagen. And it's in Dunkelgelb. It's not in the Africa Core color. We could turn that around to the Africa Core color in no time. But I don't have a single Kubelwagen painted. Aussie, mate. Yeah. Good morning, sir. So, and it's been brown washed. I don't feel like repainting it for the Africa Core. I don't feel like repainting it for the Africa Core. There's other ones I can use. I'll just get other ones for the Africa. I wish the S model ones were cheaper. They're not a good value. Like this costs as much as a huge tank. Like, okay, well, I'll just buy a huge tank because I make these in 2-packs. I don't know if they're any good, but so if this was Dunkelgelb, what we'd do is we'd take that base color and then mix in some of the sand. Well, it's too late for that. It's basically time to go to the salt mines. But okay, well, I appreciate you guys stopping by and entertaining me this morning. We'll be back this evening probably do an airbrush session, honestly. Probably a vertical airbrush session. So, all right, folks, enjoy whatever day of the week this is. It's Thursday, I think. Yeah. All right, we'll see you tonight. Bye-bye.